commenting this. I think Lemon is
Oops, I forgot to do the music. Hold on, let me turn the music on.
what?
Sorry, I get
Okay.
distracted by my beautiful wife and forget. Hello, everyone. Well,
I
Janet, it's me and you. Go ahead, Janet. What were we going to say?
I heard something from. Is that from you?
Is it ducks?
Yeah.
Yeah, the ducks are here.
I know. Okay. My goodness.
I guess Noah didn't want to, is not coming in. All right, so we will share the screen. And looks like Janet would be guinea pig.
Getting big. Getting pig. What's that? Big
Guinea
pig.
pig.
Ah.
Okay, Janet, let's do a test.
Oh Lord. Okay, help me.
If you need to find where your paragraph is, what website do you go to?
Where the paragraph? Oh, me. I know that you have your link, right? Your website, but I do the constable's notes.
Constable's Notes tells you the paragraph?
Uh, net Bible, I should say. I thought commentaries. Okay, sorry.
So are you
The net
saying that
Bible.
Bible does the paragraphs?
Yes, there is a paragraph in the net Bible.
All right, so let's go there. Last time the site wasn't working. All right, click on Net Bible.
Why are you doing that way? Oh, good, that is working.
All right, we're in James 3. We've already done the first paragraph.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you're right. You can do paragraph division that way.
Yeah.
All right. So now what do you do, Janet?
Well, I'm going to find a sentence inside the paragraph.
All right. Find your first sentence.
Oh no, you're so small. Wait a minute. I need
Oh,
to.
okay. Yeah. So this is Greek paragraph 3.6b to or 3.5b. 3.5b. 5b to 12. Yeah, you're right. That's so small. Hold on. All right, now go for it.
Okay. Oh no, I forgot already. So we are looking for sentence, right? How about the flying
Yes.
period? You think that that's a sentence?
Ignore the flying period for now.
Okay, so the comma is like period or the comma or exclamation
Eg-
point?
all you're looking for is period, exclamation point, and question mark.
Oh, so period is number seven then, including the 5C. Oh, 5C, 5B.
Okay, next.
And next is on verse 8 before the 9.
Okay, next.
And next is 10A, the kata,
Oh, yeah, I see. I see you. Good.
10A.
Okay,
And next is 10B.
good.
And next is, oh, what is that? Semicolon? So it's
Remember,
10.
semicolon is a question.
Oh, okay. So that one too. And next is, okay, verse 12.
All right. So then,
Guys, let us learn how to study the Bible. What is this? Yeah, Bible study method. What? No, what are you doing? Previous one, yeah. Charlie,
okay.
what are you doing? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, but I don't understand you. There's a difference.
No, but it says 10, 10. The verse is not accurate to your red one.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because, oh, okay.
I
Okay.
fixed it. You didn't
Yeah.
see me fix it. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
All right. So now look for semicolons.
The semicolon, is that the oh,
The
semicolon?
flying
The
period. The
flying
flying
period.
period.
Okay. The flying period is the 5B.
Okay.
And the 6A. Pro, yeah.
Yep.
6A, and also where are only that I'm going. What about the comma?
Comma's not right now, but you can do comma now if you want. It's fine.
Is comma in the comma chameleon in the in Greek?
We'll do comma chameleon in a minute, but let's just do semicolons first. Okay.
Okay, okay, okay. So 7 7 semicolon nothing, nothing, and 7 9. Um, what is semicolon, by the way, in Greek? What is definition on that semicolon? What is that the same in English? Nothing
Yes.
in verse 9 and verse 10b now, and 11 to 12 is how about that semicolon really there on 11? What is that? Anyway, it's already divide.
It's already
Sorry.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember, but this the semicolon is the question. You're looking for flying periods. If the
Yeah.
period's not
Not
flying, fly
not
past it.
fly past it. Okay, there's nothing more.
All right. All right. So now we'll do Greek.
I've been sitting down how many hours already and I didn't exercise. I
All
have sleep
right.
next. So what we're going to
Okay.
do now?
We're going to make this.
Greek stop. Why it says Greek stop?
Because I'm trying to say there's a stop there.
Why?
Because you'll see in a minute. Because that's letting me know these are two subpoints. All right. Now we got the next one, nothing. So let's go find the next Greek semicolon.
Sorry, I need to change my chair.
Okay.
My office chair is
All right.
in my
So,
room.
okay. Now you can do commas. All right. So do commas now.
I do commas now. The chameleon. Uh, already there? How
Yeah.
about the previous one? Okay, the comma is on six. Six like a moan
Good. Okay.
and nothing else.
All right.
Seven is in petinon and the anthropine, anthropine, anthropos, joke. And the anthrop, anthropone, anthropone, and the kakon, nothing else. And and the gigonotas. Charlie, correct my wording if I'm not correct, okay? For the
Yeah,
sake
but
of the for the
this is
sake of
not
the
Greek class, so you're
I
fine.
yeah, I know, but the audience, see, he is she is reading wrong, that kind of thing.
Okay.
So yeah, and what's that? What's that? Will
Cray. Cray.
okray. Is it the Tagalog words okray, meaning like corny or OA, overacting. Okray. Okray. Nothing more, and the 11 is nothing. And the Donatai and Mong, and
Somebody's a
that's
bad cat.
what bad cat? Me? Bad cat?
Yeah, you did not catch the semicolon that time.
You said that only
That's
comma.
that's a Greek sentence. Yeah, but you should have got it earlier.
You said
You're
that you
fine.
don't need to do that.
I missed it too. It's all right.
Mm. And then we were going to oh no, my battery. Then we were going to translate it.
Hold on. No, we're not going to translate it. This is not Greek class, Janet. You want it to be, but it's not.
Oh, this is only the method. So you showed
Yes.
the method already. Yeah, that's
Yes.
why it is Bible study method, Janet. Where are you at? Oh,
Right. So we would do number one, Roman numeral one for Greek sentence. Now, underneath that, we have Greek semicolon. And then the Greek stop is in parallel to that.
hmm.
And then you have Greek semicolon again. Did I do that a while ago? I don't remember my brain.
I don't remember my brain.
I talk like you, don't I?
I don't remember my brain.
So
Take
it's I think that's saying six all the way. Let me check.
no.
Six.
You have
Yeah.
pasted up, right?
Look,
Already,
look,
no?
look. Watch. It sounded like you said you have pissed it off. No.
You have paste it already. The below. You didn't. Oh, you erased it. That's why. You should, you know.
Greek sentence 3 6 B through so that's gonna go all the way. That's all just six. All right, the rest is six. So it's just 3 6.
I want to have a question. Like after that, then we were going to the English translation and go for it there.
Yes, that's
Ah,
correct.
okay. You're just getting the Greek division.
Greek comma. Yeah,
The
you could
Greek
do it like in
divisions.
the outline in the process, Greek, and then I would just call this Greek stop,
Greek stuff.
meaning that's where the unit stops.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
When
now
you
we
say
got.
the Greek stop, then there's no Greek at all because it's stop.
If you're sensationist, that's true.
But we are partly.
Yeah. Okay, so this is 3 8. Greek stop. 3 9. I mean 3 8 B, and then another Greek. This one's Greek stop
I really don't know why you call that Greek stop.
because a period is a stop. A semicolon is a stop.
Ah, goodness gracious, why you need to have specifically do that Greek stop when it's sentence? Greek stop.
Just trust me.
Mm.
Once we get into identifying verbs and clauses, then this will make more sense.
Ah, yeah, I cannot do that on my own live streaming. Doing that, I really don't. I don't know how to do that. So at least, and this is also the reason why I wasn't able to do the Philemon thing on my own because this live streaming goes to my Facebook. So you know, it's the same thing. It's a method. I was showing them the method on Philemon. So
Cool.
I stopped that because you are doing like this, you know.
Yeah, but
So
mine
it's the
is not
same thing.
exactly the same.
Yeah, but it's the same method. That's my point.
Uh,
Unless I'm doing descriptive summary and understand and let them, and let them know how do I do descriptive summary. and how I understand the chapter, the paragraph, the sentence, the phrase, the clause, the word.
Actually, this would be Greek semicolon. This would be Greek comma.
Is that the same thing like what they did for Noah? Noah was different.
I don't remember.
Oh my goodness.
All right, we'll just pull the NASB. It's a different passage range. We're doing 5B to 12.
Meta. Not now, it's too early.
He's saying now.
Yeah. Did you hear him
Yeah,
saying no?
now. I messed up a few places, but fine, whatever. All right. Why do I have all that divided up that much? Anyway, I'll
Because
fix it
you,
later.
yeah. You know what? The new babies, they are so cute. Not baby Greek, okay? The baby kittens, the kitten.
Yeah.
I think the new kittens are 10 or 12. I'm not sure. Yeah, oh, yeah, 10, 10, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. 10. Yeah, it's all 17.
I mean, you could divide up the rest of the stuff at a deeper level,
Mm,
but we don't really need it. We just need these sentence level ones. So we'll just delete those.
comma, comma.
Well, we're going to lump these two together. So I'm just showing people how you could do it, but we're going to simplify things.
Yeah, only sentence not a comma, but in between comma, you already have like complete sentence in it, right? Yeah, at least guys, you know already how to, if there is make sense in one comma, so do the descriptive summary on that specific phrases.
All right. So, all right, Janet, you're doing the descriptive summary.
Oh my
See
goodness.
how great a forest is set aflame by such a small fire.
What
How would you,
translation is that?
Jane?
Translation.
You sound like King James only when you say it like that.
No.
James uh
How
compares.
How great the force.
The influence of the tongue to a
Oh, because he.
spark that causes a forest fire or something like that. And the tongue is a fire, the very word of iniquity. The tongue is set among its members as that which defiles the entire body.
It seems like that is the
Um,
answer, James 2. James 2?
the tongue is described as a world of iniquity, and basically world of sin that so I know the language behind this. The tongue is described as a place uh described, you know what this is talking about? The
Yeah.
tongue is described as Gehenna.
Huh?
Uh, yeah, it's describing as the tongue is described as Gehenna, uh,
Because because that tongue is like a fire, a small.
because it's uh, defiled. Yeah, all right. Yeah, so it basically what it's saying is that it's the flesh, you know.
Yeah.
For every species, birds, and reptiles, creatures is tamed that has been tamed by human race, but no one can tame the tongue. Its restless, evil, and full of deadly poison.
Yeah.
No one can tame the poisonous tongue that's like an animal. The poisonous, sinful tongue that's like an animal. Something like that. This is just for demonstration. We bless and we curse and we made a likeness of God from the mouth, saying blessing and curses.
Yeah, our tongue need to speak godly word, good things.
Yeah, you're right. Godly word. You're right.
Godly word because that's what the meaning on it.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Uh,
Uh,
Christians
com- uh
should
commanded.
not speak, should not be, I'm going to say, mastered by their tongue. It should be the other way around. They master their own tongue.
Mm.
Uh, th-
Because yeah,
this is contrary to water sources. Uh,
uh,
this is
oh,
contrary to fruit trees.
uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you could keep it at the sentence level and you could delete it if you want. But so you got these two go together. This is contrary to water sources, contrary to fruit trees.
Mm.
So these are two illustrations. Christians should not be mastered by their tongue. Uh, that kind of relates. The tongue can speak good things or bad. Uh, it's more like parallelism. So what I would do here is I would just run it all together and make a descriptive summary from that. And then later on we could evaluate, the structure. But for what we need to do, I would just run it together.
So that's already the paragraph thing.
Yeah, it's like a descriptive summary.
Yeah.
James compares the influence of the tongue to a spark that causes a forest fire. The tongue is described as Gehenna because it's defiled. No one can tame the poisonous, sinful tongue. It's like an animal. The tongue can speak good things or bad things. Christians should not be mastered by their tongue. It's contrary to water source, contrary to fruit tree. All right, so what I would say is this: is the tongue has the potential for both speaking good and evil, right?
Mm.
So then I would say something. I say the tongue has the tendency to speak evil. The tongue must be mastered, or it will master the Christian. See, that's what I would do. And so you would have 3 points there, you know? And you could
Mhm.
talk about each one. You could say, let's see here.
Hi, Sis Lisa.
The tongue has potential for both speaking good and evil.
Si Claire.
And whenever you're when you're teaching on this, you can move things around. So you can talk about the potential aspect. So the parts that talk about potential are where it talks about let's see. You can talk about good and bad things. You can talk about water sources. You can talk about trees. These illustrations, right? So this shows that it so that focuses on its potential, positive or negative, right? And the tongue has a tendency to speak evil. You could say it its influence, right? About the fire influence. Its influence is inflaming. Okay, you could do something like that, and you could say its influence is inflaming. Its effects are damaging and dangerous, right? Because that would allow you to talk about the fire. It could be talking about beast. You could talk about damaging and dangerous, and you could also talk about Gehenna there. The tongue must be mastered or will master a Christian. You could say fire must be controlled, right? Water must be. All right. So basically, think of it like this: nature must be. Well, how would I say this? It's similar, you know. So I might pull from idea. You could say like this: fire must be controlled. You could say beasts must be tamed. Nature well, fire must be controlled, beasts must be tamed. So all of these are
That's an attitude,
and
not
yeah,
the
you're
nature.
yeah, right. And the tongue must be mastered or master the Christian. And so all you're doing is you're walking through the illustrations. I don't even think I need to repeat that. But essentially, you know, there's your points you could use if you wanted to. All right. That's not what we're doing here. The main purpose of doing the descriptive summaries is so we can get an idea of the overall the book as a whole. But those are some things you can do. Any comments or thoughts before I play the video, Janet?
You're going to play the video now. I need. Um. So I able to feed the cat, right?
You're able to feed the cats? Yes, you're able to feed the cats. I'm
Yeah.
able to
Now.
play the video while you feed the cats.
Okay.
Hi, sis Lisa. Oh my goodness. Wow. James White comes against Free Grace. Praise I am. I guess I have to challenge James White now. I'll probably go to pray. I might go over there. Wow, that's tripped out. I don't even know what's going on there. Okay, so let me go to my Bible study playlist.
Oh, I thought that
Um,
you were going there. My goodness, you just see James White.
no, I
Not
meant praise
not
I
not
am.
not James White himself. It's
Yeah,
Praise
right.
I Am, right?
Yes, Janet.
Yeah. My goodness gracious, I was surprised to hear that. And also, James White
Our
is
goal.
old
Here we are
already.
in part 5. All right, here we go. Of how to find the exegetical idea of a biblical passage. The title of this one is a little bit different because our goal here is to find the exegetical idea from looking at an exegetical outline that we're going to make, or at least the basis of it. I want to say this up front, that a true exegetical outline is based off reflects the verbal force and the logical movements and stuff. But we will deal with that stuff later on. At this point, we're just trying to get a general feel for things. And so it's good for us right now to review a little bit of what we've done in the previous videos. I'm just going to say it and not go in detail about them. But the previous videos were about how to get an exegetical idea without making an exegetical outline first. This one, we are making the exegetical outline first. So part 1 focused on writing it. Part 2, refining it, line upon line it. Part 3, part 4, emphasizing through thought flow, and then align it. So write it, refine it, line it, emphasize it, and align it, which references making an outline. Okay. The reason that we want to do this step is it because whenever we're doing the thought flow, it aids in our outlining the passage, which we saw as like last time. It aids in the writing and the saying of the exegetical idea, and this probably should be underneath here for its purposes. But okay. But it's also a bridge between writing of the exegetical idea and the exegetical outline, and it provides a more accurate exegetical idea. So we're still in James, and now we're doing James 1, 9 through 11. Okay, not a big paragraph, at least from the NASB. And just like before, I already have this stuff done, so I'm just going to explain these things. Now, whenever you're studying the paragraph level, you're asking what is the main idea of that paragraph. And so what that means is your subpoints are going to be at the sentence level. And so one thing I do is I break everything down according to punctuation. Like I have a semicolon here and a period here. So that lets me know that's one main point, and this all is another main point. Okay? So I don't focus too much on the commas at this point, just mainly the semicolons. Even though sometimes there may be a verb implied where the commas are, that can also be a main point. So from that, I say, okay, verse 9. I just to help me remember what I'm doing, I'll write the word sentence to remind me that this point is at the sentence level. And so then I just describe what's going on like we've done in the previous videos. So we have a contrast to the doubting one must count it all joy. Now I know the words count it all joy are not in the text right here, but they do begin the book, and I believe it's the same idea. It's a return to that same idea. In chapter 10, there's an verse 10, there's an implied contrast and a danger, or reason why one should have this approach is because life is temporary. And then 11 is a sentence, 12 is a sentence, and 12b are sentence. So all of these Roman numerals are sentences, but you see this plus sign is a symbol that I'm using to let myself know that this is a semicolon. So that means that 9 and 10 work together. And then 11, 12, and 12b work together. From that, I come down here and I say, all right, since I know these two are working together, I'll make a little summary. Christians are called to have God's eternal perspective and priority, especially since creation is temporal, whether rich or poor. Not the best sentence, but it's what I have. Notice that it should be focusing on the past tense. It should be focusing on the Bible world. The tendency is whenever you're in a passage of scripture that is more relevant to the church age, there's not that much of a gap to bridge. The tendency is kind of draw principles or application. But so we might want to specify this like we've done in previous places and talk about
Guys, I think the Lehman Seminary is. What happened?
I guess we lost connection. I'm
Huh?
I'm Buck.
I'm back. What happened? You.
I guess
Oh,
we lost connection. I don't know.
my goodness, I want to rewatch what my expression about what
All right.
my facial expression is like my goodness.
I don't know. That must mean there's a storm somewhere.
Okay. Yeah.
Lisa,
Because
when are you gonna start joining us on the YouTube? Are called to have an eternal perspective during their temporal life, and the rich are emphasized as being in more danger than the poor because they seem to have it so well in this life. So this is my exegetical idea. And so what you'll see right here is where I had the word paragraph earlier. I wrote the word exegetical idea and put that there. Where I got these points from looking at what the semicolon go together with. Whenever I lumped the previous points up, I made that my major point or my major subpoint. 1 and 2. Okay. Then I go back up here, and this division that I did at the sentence level, without looking at the semicolons and all of that, I make those my respective subpoints. So what we have is under Christians are called to have God's eternal perspective and priority, especially since creation is temporal, whether rich or poor. Verse 9 says, in contrast to doubting, the Christian must count it as joy. 10, the implied contrast is the danger of a temporal life as on an eternal perspective. So I made that from the subpoints. And then 11 through 12, James illustrated this temporal warning to the rich. He describes them as withering, describes it as destruction, and he describes the rich man fading from the scene. So that's all an exegetical outline is. It's a descriptive outline of the Bible world, of the flow, of the logic of the passage. And like I said, you could go into detail about the action words and all of that, but we can do that in another video. So hopefully this helped you see how that you can develop an exegetical outline. It's so much easier to do this in a document than it is on a piece of paper.
And guys, I know that clausal layouts, Greek diagram, and all that stuff feeds into an actual exegetical outline. But this is for the English speaker for now.
But on a piece of paper, you just have to write more. I mean, but you get better at it. And some people, they're able to look at the text without even having to divide it like this. It just becomes second nature or even first nature to them. But this is a way that I feel is helpful because people can use this cut and paste method to be able to accomplish what they need to. All right, so thank you all for attending the Layman Seminary once again. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Share this with others and let us know what you think. God bless.
All right. Well, Janet, we got 10 minutes. You still there? Okay. Lisa says she enjoys peeping in the window for now. All right. Well, let me see what my next video was and see if we want to start another one. Looking at the playlist. Okay. Yeah, we could do this one. It's only 9 minutes long.
To aim for the ideal exegetical idea. And this is part 7 of our series on the exegetical idea. Now, as we're going into this, I use the term ideal because usually you hear this distinction, the real and the ideal. Real, a lot of times people use it in the sense of the real world, the reality of things. Ideal is the goal or the aim that you're trying to reach. And we've approached this.
Now, I know in Platonic philosophy, some people say it's opposite, but I wasn't making a philosophical statement about Plato's forms and other things like that.
Concept of the exegetical idea, or this step, in from a very simplistic method, starting in the very beginning of the videos. Basically, we use the term descriptive summary because some people choke on the word exegetical idea, and then later on we defined what exegetical idea was. And we've used steps along the way that we could go and go in more detail right now, but I would probably lose a lot of the audience, and that's not my goal at this point. I can make more advanced videos on other playlists and things like that. But in the last video, what we did was we looked at how to find the exegetical idea by using action words. And basically, an exegetical idea, it does have to be able to follow the action of the passage and describe the Bible world. And but instead of going into a bunch of grammar and syntax and all of those things like that, I want to take a step back and talk about what the exegetical idea ideally is supposed to do. Okay. So let's say that the ideal exegetical idea is the perfect objective way that the passage is explained, and it's the message that God intended. In other words, if you can imagine that whenever you go to read the Bible, that you understood everything that God wanted you to understand, and nothing was lost. And yes, God is able to communicate to us in that way, but that depends on the illumination ministry of the Holy Spirit, as well as the yielding ourselves to His Spirit rather than the flesh, and also God's sovereign responsibility in our growth as well. So we all grow in different ways. But just imagine for a moment if you knew exactly what the passage was intended, the what it meant, and all that. And so that would be the ideal. Okay. Well, whenever you're dealing with this ideal, there's 6 gaps that have to be bridged. And you may find more gaps, but these are gaps that I've based off of previous studies that I've done that have been beneficial. So this exegetical idea will be an explanation of the biblical content in context, given the message that God intended. And so that's important for us to recognize, is that we're trying to do our best to get back to that message that God intended. And so there's certain gaps in interpretation that we have. We have a time gap, we have a geography gap, we have a cultural gap, we have a language gap, we have a literary gap, and of course a spiritual gap. Time gap is, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through the different outlines that we're going to be doing. Even before I reveal how to do the other outlines, I want us to see kind of like a comparison of the different outlines. So for the exegetical idea and outline, or the descriptive summary, its focus is on the Bible world. It's whenever you're making an outline to teach or preach, this would deal with the concept of explanation. So the time gap for this is, what biblical age is our passage in? In other words, what's going on at that time? Geography gap, or are the events inside or outside the promised land? Now, these questions are not exhaustive. These are the ones that immediately came to my mind when I made this chart. A cultural gap. This is a simplistic one, but is it a Gentile or Jewish audience? Language gap. Is it Hebrew, Aramaic, or Greek? The original language. Literary gap. What type of genre is the writing considered as? And a spiritual gap. Is it a believer in the passage, or are they carnal, or are they mature? So you can look at that, and if we were just to run through an exegetical idea, this is telling me this, is that my exegetical idea must reflect the same time. It should be able to consider what's going on, where the people are placed in light of God's plan and program for the world, and in geography, what the makeup of the audience is, and then of course which original language am I unpacking, and then what type of genre, and then of course the spiritual dimension about the audience. So that's a lot of information. And what we'll probably do is we'll probably use these questions maybe to refine our exegetical idea. I may do that in the next video just so we can see how that all works out, if any. So the next outline is the expositional idea and outline. And this is where you're drawing a principle summary. This is a bridge between the Bible world and the congregational or small group world. It focuses on the modern world, the timeless truth passages that are pretty much true throughout all time. The time gap here is what is timeless and true concerning God's character and his self-revelation. Geography gap is not so much important here because we're dealing with timeless truth principles. The culture gap is what is culturally bound and what is transcultural. In other words, what was limited for that particular culture or that particular person, and what is not limited. The language gap is not so much important here because you're bringing it over into the English. The literary gap, how does the genre that you're studying express timeless truth principles? The spiritual gap, what is the condition of the world and the worldly? In other words, what's going on in the world, but at the same time, in the worldly person, how does a worldly person think? Because some Christians think worldly. Now, going over to the teaching or preaching idea or outline, this focuses on your congregation or your small group world. And so where the bridge kind of helps with illustrations, you start thinking about illustrations that would highlight these principles. The teaching and preaching outline focuses more on application. So when we're dealing with this time gap, it's 2,000 years later after the Bible has been completed. So what has changed? That's the questions you ask. What are the similarities and differences? Geography-wise, you could say, are my people rural or urban? In other words, do they live in a country? Do they live in a city? How can I use those illustrations and explain what's in the text in a way where they can understand me? A cultural gap. Are my people secular or do they believe in the supernatural? Of course, if you got people that doubt the supernatural, that's going to affect how you draw your principles as well as apply them. Language gap. What clarifications do I need to make for them? Like differences in languages, both in the original language or even in English in different terms. Literary gap. What similarities and differences are known in the genres? Making comparison to current examples of genres today. And the spiritual gap. Are they saved? Are they maturing? So we can see from this right here that there's a lot involved in studying the Bible. And typically Bible studies um, in church and in small groups, they tend to skip this. And because they skip this, their principles are wrong. And so their application ends up being wrong. Or sometimes you can have the right application but the wrong passage. And so hopefully this gives you an idea about how to get to an ideal exegetical idea. Like I said, it shows the exegetical idea and outline in relation to the other outlines, but it would still help prepare us for getting an idea for the ideal. So if this was beneficial to you, please subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the bell so that you can receive notifications. Share this with others and let us know what you think so that we can continue to improve. God bless.
All right, guys. Well, that's where we will stop.
Welcome to the
And so yeah, we will get more interaction from people. I know when we started the Greek class at 9:30 Central, some of the people that were originally attending the inductive study, they're watching it in their own time. And but yeah, we'll keep going in the progress. So that's what we'll do. We'll do as much as we can interactive, and we'll do the videos until we're caught up. And then once we're caught up with the videos, then we can go forward. There is a particular place that I do want to cut because some of the videos are going to get more advanced. And I went in a particular direction that way because the person was studying Greek. But we won't be going that route. We'll be going more of a broader approach to the Bible. And then later on, we'll swing back and do some of those more complex methods. But there's still a few videos that we can watch and interact with that are not that intensive. So, yeah. Well, thanks, guys. Keep watching content. Let us know what you think. Watch old stuff. Watch new stuff. Take a look around. Share it. And Janet, go ahead. Tell the audience.
Thank you, Sis Lisa, for being here. Yeah, and thank you guys. The plane is on the ground.